Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Why Am I Doing This to Myself? The show where I do exposure therapy for my social anxiety by baking baked goods outside of the comfort of my own apartment. The last time I did this, I went down to my apartment building's entertainment kitchen, which is just a kitchen they have in the lobby that any resident of the building can use and pay for to use. I don't pay them to use it though. I think you're just supposed to pay to reserve it, and they should be paying me. I'm making them baked goods. The last time I made brown butter chocolate chip cookies, but now I'm feeling more brownie-ish, so I'm gonna go with the caramel, salted caramel brownie, chocolate, sugar. But I am here in my regular, normal apartment kitchen to gather up all of the ingredients and things that I need so I can bring them all down. And I also have this recipe, because it's not a recipe, it's a list of ingredients on a scrap sheet of loose leaf paper. But the omnipotent sheet of scratch paper is telling me I need 7 ounces of dark chocolate. And then we start the process of just throwing everything in a bag and hoping for the best. I also feel like I should specify, since I'm making this for other people, I've washed my hands before measuring out any of the ingredients. And I've also tied my hair back up so none of it falls in the food, because I am a professional. With that being said, we're moving on. I need 10 ounces of butter, and I have a bunch of random butters in my fridge, so I'm just gonna use whatever this is, which apparently equals all of the butter I was just holding. 1.5 sticks of butter, 2.5 sticks of butter? How many sticks of butter did I put in here? I don't know, but there's 2 different types of butter, and you can actively tell the difference between the two. Just get in there. Get in there and get in the bag. Moving on to 7 ounces of egg. I don't know how many egg that is. My guess is 2. 2.5. 3. So the answer was 4. I would have gotten there eventually. That's how counting works. Moving on to 9 ounces of sugar, which is apparently, I'm sorry, Mason, am I interrupting something for you? It sounds like it. I also got these cute little containers for salt and vanilla, which salt we need 3/4 a teaspoon, vanilla 1.5 teaspoons. Why does this look suspicious? Like, if I was walking around on a day-to-day basis with this in my pocket, I feel like I would be arrested. I'm also gonna be using my homemade vanilla extract, bourbon thingy-majig. I don't know, it's fancy, and I need, again, 1.5 teaspoons. It smells alcoholic, probably because it's pure alcohol. And vanilla beans. 2 ingredients. But it's literally not even half a shot, so in the bag it goes. Hope that cover was on tight. And the last ingredient for the brownies is 4 ounces of flour, which I think I have in this container. I have more flour, but I just don't want to open it. Yeah, no, it's fine. We're all good. And that is it for the brownies. But you're probably thinking, Amanda, these are salted caramel brownies. Where is the caramel coming from? Hold your fucking horses. We're getting to it now. So moving on to the caramel. I don't actually know how much caramel I need for the brownies, because I've never made brownies where you put the caramel in the brownies like while it's baking. But to be fair, the recipe that I used also didn't give me a yield for the brownies. So I don't know how much brownies I'm making, which makes it kind of hard to figure out how much caramel I'm making. So I'm just gonna fill this entire container up with sugar, and I will figure it out downstairs. I have made a lot of caramel sauce before in my life though, and I know to make caramel sauce, you take an equal part of sugar and an equal part of heavy cream, but I don't want it to be saucy. I want it to be a little thicker, so I have this quart of sugar, and I'm gonna fill a 1/2 quart up with heavy cream. Like so. She thick. Please don't do that. I'm also planning on adding salt and vanilla to the caramel. I don't know how much. In my recipe, I wrote TT, which to me means to taste. So just add enough until you taste it. And again, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying my best, and that's all that matters. That's all anyone can ever ask of me. I combined them together in one to make this really fun mixture that would be real great to drink. And that is all of the ingredients for the salted caramel brownies, minus the sea salt I want to sprinkle on top. And that's that. Moving on to other things that are needed, a brownie pan, more specifically a 9x13 pan. We got some pan spray to put inside. I need a pot to make caramel in, but not only that, before I even make the caramel, I need to make the brownies first, which I'm gonna melt the butter and chocolate into this bowl over the pot, double boiler type situation. So Hooray for using a pot twice and only have to clean it once. I also need a bowl to actually make the brownies in. And fun fact, I got all of these bowls from my mom. These were like the bowls that we used to bake things in my childhood, and this was the brownie bowl. So it only feels appropriate to make brownies in the brownie bowl. I got a bunch of mixing utensils, 2 spatulas, 1 whisk. I don't know if I'll use the whisk, but I'd rather bring it than not have it and have to run back up to my apartment like I did last time for the oven mitts because they don't have oven mitts down there. I also need oven mitts. Alright, I also got my recipe scrap of loose leaf, and I'm also bringing along a couple bar towels that I own because last time I feel like I used up half of their roll of paper towels down there, and I'm not doing that again. I got my own towels. I have so many of these. And with that being said, I think I'm all ready to go. I don't like that though. Guess who brought all of her stuff downstairs and then proceeded to forget you guys up in her apartment? This bitch. Okay, well I hate this so much already, but we're gonna get started by washing our hands again. Okay, but now we actually get started by putting some water in this pot, and then we're gonna add the chocolate and butter into this bowl, put this on top, put it on the stove. I'm also gonna preheat the oven to 325 degrees. I think they're doing some construction or something. So I think there are people moving out of the building today, and they keep going in and out. There's also construction going on. So while all of that is halted, let me give you some baking tips. With a double boiler, the water underneath shouldn't be touching the bottom of the bowl. Also, if you put just a little bit of water in there and it's going for a while, make sure you didn't boil out all of the water in your double boiler. Okay, so the oven is preheated, but the butter is still melting, probably because I put whole sticks of butter in there instead of chopping it up so it would have melted and distributed evenly, but that's asking too much of me. Okay, so doors are opening, people are coming in and out. Okay, the chocolate and butter is basically melted together, so in the brownie bowl we're gonna add the sugar and both the vanilla and the salt. I believe you could technically add that whenever you wanted to. I'm afraid I'm gonna forget. And now we add the chocolate into this sugar, vanilla, salt mixture. Delicious and good for your heart, body, and mind. Now we're gonna let this cool a little bit, because if this stays at a hot temperature, the next step is adding the eggs, and we will have scrambled eggs in our brownies. No one wants dessert scrambled eggs. No one wants chocolate flavored scrambled eggs. Sure, that's a good temperature for egg. We hope for the best, as I literally just said don't make dessert scrambled eggs. Okay, so the batter was looking a little thin, and I knew I brought the whisk down here for a reason, because apparently I was supposed to whisk everything, or technically whip it, but I didn't bring down my KitchenAid, and I am not doing that, so this is the best it's getting. But now, flour. Yeah, sure, that's brownie consistency. Okay, I'm pouring it in the already now greased pan. Look at that. I made brownies. I'm gonna pop these in the oven at 325 for 45 to 50 minutes, but I'm also gonna take them out early, like when they're par baked, to pour the caramel on top, and I don't know how the timing is gonna work. We're all gonna hope for the best. In you go. That one, sure. Okay, well I quite literally have no clue how to start the timer on the oven, so I got one on my phone, and now we're moving on to the caramel. I have the pot from the double boiler. I've dried it out so there's no water at the bottom. Lord Jesus. Anyway, no water in here because we're making dry caramel, so it's gotta be dry. But I start by putting just a little tiny bit of sugar at the bottom of the pot and turning it on like a medium high-ish heat. And I'm just gonna keep this going until it starts melting on the outside, and then I'm gonna start mixing it all together until it's all melty, and then I add more sugar until that melts, and then I add more sugar, and then I add more sugar, and then I add more sugar until I feel like that's enough sugar. I don't know. Again, I don't know the measurements for this recipe. I've only done it every single day while I was working at my old job, but that doesn't matter. So here we are where the sugar is kind of melting. You can see it becoming like a liquid and kind of translucent. So I'm just gonna slowly start mixing everything together. And then eventually I'll add a little bit more sugar into this once it becomes a little bit more of a liquid. Like that, because we're making caramel. Oh my God. Okay, so that is all of the sugar added. It's a little lumpy, probably because I added some of the sugar a little fast because I'm afraid of burning down this kitchen, which I'm not gonna do. I promise. But I'm gonna let the rest of the sugar melt, and then I'm gonna add the heavy cream a little bit at a time because it's gonna get crazy. I'm also gonna pull it off the heat once I do that. So I will update you then because it's really hard to do this with one hand. Okay, who's ready to be afraid? I am. Okay. Okay, just a little bit. That might have been a little much. We're all having a good fun time. This does not look like the caramel I know and love. Oh, yeah, no, I fucked this up. What did I do? Oh my god. It's like really hard. I think I overcooked the sugar a little bit, and then once I added the heavy cream, it all seized up. So, anyway, how are the brownies doing? How are you guys doing? They look good. They don't need to be salted caramel brownies. I did really want them to be salted caramel brownies though. So I might go back upstairs and make the caramel once the brownies are done just so I can top them. I don't know, I didn't use like any of the heavy cream. I just poured a little in and then it all messed up and I am here now. This is gonna be a bitch to clean. Yeah, I'll try again back upstairs in like 20 minutes when the brownies are done, which means I have to sit here and figure out what to do for like 20 minutes. Okay, so it's been like 40-ish minutes and the brownies are done. Even this weird bump pocket thing I got going on over there. Okay, so now I'm thinking the best course of action right now is to just leave these cool here while I run upstairs, possibly make a quick batch of caramel again, then I can come down here and when they're cool I can cut them out. I can sprinkle them with caramel or drizzle with caramel, however the caramel turns out. My caramel currently I could definitely do a dusting of. Now I also get to play the fun game. How do I take up 2 dirty bowls filled with brownie batter and also that monstrosity over there? To the best of my ability, I guess. I will figure out how to wash the inside of this bag. Okay, so I'm back in my apartment. I made a second batch of caramel, which, if I'm being completely honest, did not work out the way that I wanted it to, but I salvaged it kind of, so now I have caramel sauce. So, I love that I'm holding this like a man holding a fish in his profile picture. Anyway, let's go back downstairs. Okay, so I didn't get a whole lot of video footage of me finishing up the brownies, like cutting them and putting caramel sauce on them, but that's because I got real self-conscious because the office for the building is also down there. It's like right across the hall. So when I came back to finish the brownies, a dude came up to me and he's like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm the new building manager. Like, I haven't seen you around before. I came out here, I'm like, wow, it smells like cookies." And I was so excited. I'm like, yeah, they're for you if you want one. And he's like, oh, heck yeah. So it's safe to say I'm not gonna get yelled at if I bake there again. Anyway, I haven't actually eaten all of the components together yet. So I have some of like the uglier brownies that were falling apart. So I have some of that. I have some of the caramel. And then I also added the sea salt on top. And I probably should have tried them all together before I left them out there for people to eat, but oh, that was a lot of salt. Well, it's gonna be salted caramel. Okay, that brownie is so good. It's like rich, but it's also super fluffy. It almost like melts in your mouth. And the caramel and the salt, I did a good job, never mind. They can stay down there. I didn't need to taste them. I knew they would be good. I'm a professional.